here's Brody Brazil.
You know, it certainly is fascinating how the A's have made themselves a conversation across multiple different communities. Obviously, Oakland, their current home, as well as Las Vegas, where they're trying to move by 2028. But now enter Salt Lake City and Sacramento as potential temporary homes starting as soon as 2025. But in that same breath, it's also kind of interesting that Summerlin, Nevada has quickly fallen off everybody's radar. Nobody's talking about it, speculating about it. There's nothing official there, no team visits, nothing we've heard of from Summerlin, Nevada, which was actually one of the first and most obvious places that would help bridge the A's in their potential relocation to Southern Nevada. The A's already have their very own AAA affiliate, the Aviators, playing in Summerlin, by the way, just west of the greater Las Vegas area. And they've got a brand new ballpark, opened in 2019, seemingly with a significant amount of upgrades. Yeah, maybe it could be a suitable host for a major league team for a couple years. At least those were the initial thoughts about a year ago. And in fact, let me just go to that. I said a year ago on this very channel that Las Vegas ballpark was actually kind of a threat to the A's existence in Oakland. I said that because it felt like an obvious bridge to relocation. It's already in Southern Nevada. It needs some, but not a ton, of overhauling and upgrades, and the people and the connections would already seem in place. Like, that just felt like an easy path to get the A's removed from Northern California and pushed down to Southern Nevada so that then they could figure out whatever it is next that they needed to do. Yeah, this ballpark felt like an obvious bridge to relocation. And that's why I said even before, this is well before the A's announced their official intentions to turn their backs on Oakland, put all their focus on Las Vegas, I was saying this well before that. But the conversation around Summerlin, it continued well into the summer months. Summerlin, summer months, I didn't do that on purpose. In May and June, with the Nevada State Legislative session, Summerlin and, in fact, Reno, I'll explain that one in a second, they were mentioned multiple times by Jeremy Aguero and Steve Hill as part of the A's testimony to the Assembly and the Senate. Why Reno? Well, think about it. It's kind of a nice carrot to dangle that the A's would even consider a location in Northern Nevada as part of just being in the state, providing the state more revenue, as the team was obviously asking the state for public funding. Even though I don't think that Reno was ever or has ever been a realistic choice based on population and geography, whatever, it was mentioned multiple times, but so was Summerlin. And the idea of mentioning those two Nevada communities, like I said before, was enticing lawmakers in that not only would the A's be coming to Las Vegas permanently, but even in the temporary years, they would be coming there as a business. They would kind of kickstart things in terms of making money, finance, and tax revenue for the state, right? So it seemed like a little bit of a cherry on top for legislators that maybe they would consider this as the A's part of their deal would be moving to Nevada earlier than they'd get to actually Las Vegas. But again, Summerlin mentioned a multitude of times, summer of 2023. Now we're here in early 2024, and the team has made official and documented visits to Salt Lake City and to Sacramento. And maybe, in fairness, maybe the A's know everything they need to know about Summerlin. Maybe that's already still their front runner. But if they truly have things figured out in Summerlin, then why make these publicized visits that just kick up dust and cause more speculation and maybe even some confusion? Maybe it's just part of business and negotiations and figuring out what all the options are. Maybe it's just due diligence. But again, Salt Lake City and Sacramento feel like very serious things. When was the last time you heard major consideration about the A's actually going to Summerlin? And the upgrades in Summerlin would be, I guess, straightforward. New clubhouses, new playing surface, probably artificial turf, new lighting system. You'd really have to figure out the schedule because you can't play day games outside in the summertime with Major League Baseball players, maybe not even once a week. But it would immediately impact the A's positively if they could actually get down to Summerlin. I mean, if you truly are going to be in Southern Nevada starting as soon as 2025, why not just go ahead and change your name to the Las Vegas A's? Start making money off selling merchandise. Start making deals with Las Vegas businesses and sponsors and media partners and sell season tickets. You're now officially in that community and ready to start building your foundation and doing business as maybe your actual foundation is going up on the site of the Tropicana Hotel. But why isn't this a consideration? It seems like the easiest and maybe the most lucrative thing to do. Is it possible that the A's would not want to make their landing in Las Vegas in 2025 like this? And I say like this on two fronts. Number one, it seems like they've been a little bit behind the curve with deadlines and private financing and stadium renderings, and a lot has happened. I think maybe it was their expectation to stay in Oakland, and then Las Vegas became their thing. They turned the boat in that direction, but maybe they weren't ready to go full steam in that direction. So maybe it's as simple as the fact that they're a little bit behind the curve. They're taking on a lot of things to figure out, and they're not flat out ready to go down there by 2025 from a business sense. Don't have everything lined up as it's supposed to be. The other thought and facet behind this is look at the baseball team and what the customer's going to see, what the fans are going to see. They just lost 102 and then 112 games respectively across each of the last two seasons. Those were two of the worst, including last year, which was the worst season in Oakland A's history. And if you're asking me about 2024, I love the players. I love the manager. I love the coaching staff. I love the general manager. They're doing the best with the given circumstances. But it's not their fault. I'm here to say that it's very likely that they will lose 100 games again in 2024. And their payroll does not reflect trying to improve or trying to change the face of the team, at least for this season, at this point. So maybe the other part of it is as simple as you only get one chance to make a first impression. And if the A's go to Summerlin, which let's just call it Las Vegas, and they change their name to become the Las Vegas A's, and in year one, which would be 2025, and the ballpark just got like Frankenstein together down there to add some bleachers in right field and some new clubhouses, and they just quickly rushed this all together. Maybe it kind of comes across as not optimal or a bad look or not the best look. And so again, I think at one point this was the easiest idea. If everything was ready to go and made sense, the A's would just hop on down to Summerlin. Again, they've already got their friends down there. They've already got their partnerships and connections, at least with the Aviators I'm talking about, to try and make this happen. And yeah, sharing the ballpark, it wouldn't be great. And I've already mentioned all the other things. You already know about the heat and the playing surface and all the upgrades and improvements. It's not cheap either. My point is, that seems like the direction that optimally you'd want to go in. And it turns out that's not even part of the public conversation anymore. You'd think this would be the number one option, and Salt Lake City and Sacramento might be courtesy visits, but hardly seems that way from what the A's had been doing within the last week. You made it here to the end of the video. You know I appreciate that. Thumbs up down below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so I can definitely see you back here next time.